Picture this. A 17-year-old boy stands on the pitch at Wembley Stadium. 90,000 fans are screaming. The pressure is suffocating. This is the Euro 2024 final. Spain versus England. The weight of a nation rests on his shoulders. Most teenagers his age are worried about their A-levels. He's about to make history. His name is Lamine Yamal, and what happened next would change football forever. But here's what nobody saw coming. Just over a year ago, this same boy was Barcelona's youngest ever debutant, coming on as a substitute at 15 years, 9 months, and 16 days old. Today, he's not just in the first team. He's leading it. He's not just playing for Spain. He's carrying them to glory. This is the story of how a kid from Rocafonda became the youngest player to ever win the European Championship. How he shattered records that had stood for decades. How he proved that sometimes destiny doesn't wait for you to grow up. The question isn't whether Lamine Yamal will become the best player in the world. The question is, how do we not see it coming? Let me take you back to where it all began. Rocafonda, a neighborhood in Mataró, just outside Barcelona. Not exactly where you'd expect to find the future of football. The streets are narrow. The buildings are old. Dreams here usually stay dreams. But Yamal was different from the start. At age 4, whilst other kids were learning to tie their shoes, he was already showing touches that made grown men stop and stare. His father, Monier, would later say that Yamal never walked with a football. He danced with it. By 7, scouts were circling. Barcelona, Real Madrid, the Spaniard. Everyone wanted him, but there was something about the way Barcelona approached him. They didn't just see a talented kid. They saw the future. Here's what's mental about his journey. Most players take years to develop their game. Yamal was breaking records before he could legally drive a car. On April 29, 2023, at exactly 15 years and 290 days old, he made his Barcelona debut as a substitute in a 4-0 victory against Real Betis. He became the youngest player ever to represent Barcelona in La Liga. The previous record had stood for over 100 years. But that was just the beginning. The 2023-24 season was when the world truly took notice. Xavi had established himself at Barcelona. The club was finding its identity again, but they needed something special, someone who could change games. Then Yamal happened. His first La Liga goal came in a 2-2 draw away to Granada at the age of 16 years and 87 days, making him the youngest ever scorer in the competition, beating the previous record by 11 days. But it wasn't just any goal. It was a moment of pure magic that left defenders wondering what just happened. The way he cut inside, the precision of his finish, the celebration. It wasn't just a goal. It was an announcement. Barcelona had found their new superstar. Now, I know what you're thinking. Every talented young player gets compared to the greats. But here's the thing about Yamal. The comparisons aren't just about potential. They're about what he's already achieved. At 16, he was starting matches for one of the biggest clubs in the world. At 17, he was leading Spain to European glory. These aren't development years. This is primetime football at the highest level. Let's talk about that Spanish Super Cup. On January 11, 2024, Yamal scored in a 2-0 win over Osasuna in the semi-final, becoming the youngest player to score in Supercopa at 16 years and 182 days. Then came the final against Real Madrid on January 14th. Playing the last 29 minutes, he showed he belonged on football's biggest stages. Barcelona won the trophy, and Yamal had his first senior silverware. But this was just a taste of what was to come. 2024 Euro. The tournament that changed everything. Spain arrived with hopes, but not expectations. They had talent, sure, but England were the favorites. France had Mbappe. Germany were hosts. Spain, they had a teenager whom most casual fans had never heard of. What happened over the next month was nothing short of miraculous. Yamal didn't just play, he dominated. Against Croatia, he provided the spark that ignited Spain's campaign. Against Italy, his performance showed maturity beyond his years. Against Germany, in the quarterfinal, he delivered a display so complete that German fans were applauding him off the pitch. But the semi-final against France, that's when the world truly understood what they were witnessing. France had been perfect up to that point. They had Kylian Mbappe, arguably the best player on the planet. They had experience. They had everything going for them. Except they didn't have Lamine Yamal. 21 minutes in, Yamal scored an incredible strike, becoming the youngest scorer in European Championships history at 16 years and 362 days, smashing the previous record held by Switzerland's Johan van Lampen, who was 18 years and 141 days when he scored in 2004. The goal itself was pure artistry. He cut inside from the right wing, leaving defenders in his wake. And with the inside of his left foot, he bent the ball into the top corner with such precision that the goalkeeper didn't even move. The stadium erupted. His teammates mobbed him. But Yamal? He just smiled, like he knew it was going in from the moment he touched the ball. The final against England was different. The pressure was immense. Wembley was hostile. This was England's moment, their tournament, their chance for glory. But Yamal had other plans. He didn't score. He didn't need to. What he did was even more impressive. He controlled the game. Every attack seemed to flow through him. Every dangerous moment had his fingerprints on it. When Nico Williams scored the opening goal, it was Yamal's movement and threat that had stretched the English defense. When England equalized, it was Yamal who stayed calm, who kept Spain ticking, who never let the panic set in. And when Mikel Oyarzabal scored the winner, it was another moment of Spanish brilliance that Yamal had helped orchestrate. At 17 years and 1 day old, Lamine Yamal became the youngest player ever to win the European Championship, taking the record from Portugal's Renato Sanchez, who was 18 years and 328 days when Portugal won Euro in 2016. The boy from Rocafonda had conquered Europe. Let's talk numbers because they're genuinely staggering. Youngest Barcelona debutant in La Liga, 15 years, 9 months, and 16 days. Youngest goal scorer in European Championship history, 16 years and 362 days. Youngest player to win the European Championship, 17 years and 1 day. Youngest goal scorer in El Clasico history, 17 years and 105 days. Youngest La Liga goal scorer in history, 16 years and 87 days. Youngest scorer in Spanish Super Cup, 16 years and 182 days. The list goes on and on. But here's what's mental about these records. He's not just breaking them, he's obliterating them. Some of these records had stood for decades. Others seemed unbreakable. Yamal made them look easy. But it's not just about the numbers. It's about how he plays. Watch Yamal closely and you'll notice something extraordinary. He doesn't play like a teenager. There's no hesitation, no fear, no second guessing. When he gets the ball, he knows exactly what he's going to do with it. Cut inside and shoot. Beat his man down the line. Play the perfect through ball. It's like he can see the game 3 moves ahead. His technical ability is frightening. The way he manipulates the ball, the precision of his passing, the power in his shots. These are skills that usually take years to develop. Yamal seems to have been born with it. But what sets him apart isn't just his ability. It's his mentality. You see in the big moments. When the pressure mounts, when the stakes are highest, when lesser players crumble, Yamal rises. He wants the ball. He demands responsibility. He thrives on the pressure that breaks others. At 16 years and 68 days, he became the second youngest player ever to feature in a Champions League match when he made his Barcelona debut in Europe's premier competition. This is what separates good players from great ones. Good players perform when things are going well. Great players perform when everything is on the line. Yamal doesn't just perform, he elevates everyone around him. The comparison to Messi is inevitable, but here's what's fascinating. Yamal isn't trying to be the next Messi. He's trying to be the first Lamine Yamal. Where Messi was quiet and introverted, Yamal is confident and expressive. Where Messi took time to adapt to first-team football, Yamal hit the ground running. Where Messi needed years to become a leader, Yamal was born one. The playing styles are different too. Messi was primarily a creator who could score. Yamal is primarily a scorer who can create. Both devastating, but in their own unique ways. Barcelona's sporting director, Deco, perhaps put it best when he said they weren't looking for the next Messi. They had found something different. They had found Lamine Yamal. And he's right. This isn't about replacing a legend. This is about creating a new one. The trophies are already mounting up. Euro 2024 winner, Spanish Super Cup winner, and he's only just turned 18. But perhaps the most telling recognition came from his peers and the media. Multiple young player awards, constant praise from football legends, and comparisons to the greatest players in the game. When you look at the trajectory of young superstars, the signs are all there. Yamal isn't just following in their footsteps. At this rate, he's going to surpass them all. But let's talk about what makes Yamal truly special. It's not just what he does with the ball, it's what he does without it. His movement is exceptional. He finds spaces that shouldn't exist. He makes runs that pull defenders out of position. He creates opportunities for teammates, even when he doesn't touch the ball. His work rate is phenomenal. For players so young, so talented, you might expect some laziness, some coasting. Not with Yamal. He tracks back. He presses. He fights for every ball like his life depends on it. His football intelligence is off the charts. The decisions he makes, the passes he chooses, the moments he picks to take risks. It's like he has a computer for a brain, calculating every possibility in real time. And his composure? Absolutely ridiculous. Whether it's a Champions League knockout or a local derby, whether he's playing at the Camp Nou or Wimbledon, Yamal looks the same. Calm, focused, ready. This isn't normal. Players usually need years to develop this kind of maturity. Yamal had it from day one. The impact on Barcelona has been transformative. When he made his debut against Real Betis in April 2023, the club was still finding its way under Xavi. They had talent, but needed that spark of genius. Then this kid from Rocafonda arrived, and everything changed. Suddenly, Barcelona had an identity again. They had a future. They had hope. The way fans talk about him is telling. They don't just see him as a player. They see him as a symbol of Barcelona's rebirth. The one who represents the return to their philosophy of promoting youth and playing beautiful football. And he's delivering. Under his influence, Barcelona have rediscovered their swagger. The beautiful football is back. The confidence has returned. Camp Nou hasn't felt this electric in years. Every time Yamal gets the ball, 90,000 people rise to their feet in anticipation. They know they might witness something special. And more often than not, they do. Spain's transformation has been equally remarkable. Before Euro 2024, they were considered talented, but lacking that final spark in the attack. Yamal changed all that. Suddenly, Spain weren't just playing good football. They were playing breathtaking football. They weren't just winning games. They were putting on masterclasses. The way he connected with the other Spanish attackers was telepathic. Williams on the left, Yamal on the right, with Pedri and Gavi feeding them from midfield. It was poetry in motion. But what was most impressive was his leadership. At 17, he was giving instructions to players twice his age. He was demanding the ball in crucial moments. He was taking responsibility when others shied away. This isn't usual teenage behavior. This is superstar mentality. The individual accolades keep coming. The records keep falling. But perhaps the most impressive thing about Yamal is how he handles it all. There's no arrogance, no big-headedness, no sense of entitlement. In interviews, he's humble. He credits his teammates. He thanks his coaches. He acknowledges how much he still needs to learn. This maturity is rare in football. We've seen countless talented youngsters let success go to their heads. We've watched careers derailed by ego and excess. With Yamal, you get the feeling that won't happen. There's something different about him, something special. His family keeps him grounded. His teammates respect him. His coaches trust him, and he responds by getting better every single day. Let's examine his technical skills more closely because they're genuinely extraordinary. His first touch is immaculate. The ball never gets away from him, whether it's a simple pass or a long diagonal. Whether he's under pressure or in space, the control is always perfect. His dribbling is mesmerizing. The way he changes direction, the balance he maintains, the pace he can inject or withdraw. Defenders don't know whether he's going to go around them, through them, or past them. Usually by the time they figure it out, it's too late. His shooting is devastating. Both feet, any angle, any distance. The power he generates for someone so slight is remarkable. The accuracy is even more impressive. His crossing is pinpoint. Whether it's a whip ball into the box or a cutback to the edge of the area, the delivery always finds its target. His passing range is exceptional. Short, sharp combinations in tight spaces. Long, sweeping balls that switch the play. Through balls that dissect defenses. He can play every pass in the book, but it's the combination of all these skills that makes him so dangerous. Defenders can't predict what he's going to do because he can do everything. The psychological impact he has on opponents is fascinating to watch. You can see the fear in their eyes when he gets the ball, the way they double up on him, the way they communicate frantically when he starts to move. This is what top-level defenders have said about marking him. It's impossible. He's too quick for the big center backs, too strong for the small fullbacks, too intelligent for everyone. On October 26, 2024, at the age of 17 years and 105 days, Yamal became the youngest goal scorer in El Clasico history when he scored in a 4-0 victory against Real Madrid. You could see the Madrid defenders' frustration growing throughout that match. Every time they thought they had him figured out, he'd do something different. By the end of that match, seasoned internationals were looking lost. A 17-year-old had tied the balance. This psychological dominance usually takes years to develop. Yamal seems to have been born with it. The comparisons to other great wingers are instructive. Ronaldinho at 17 was still in Brazil learning his trade. Neymar at 17 was promising but inconsistent. Vinicius Jr. at 17 was raw and unpredictable. Yamal at 17 was already winning European championships and breaking El Clasico records. Sure, he'll get better, he'll get stronger, he'll get more experienced, but the foundation is already there. The talent is already obvious. The mentality is already proven. What we're witnessing isn't potential. This is the real thing. Right now, today, the marketing machine around Yamal is already in full swing. His shirt sales have gone through the roof. His social media following grows by thousands every day. Brands are queuing up to associate themselves with him. But what's refreshing is how he handles the commercial side. He's professional, but not obsessed. He does his commitments, but football comes first. This balance is crucial for long-term success. We've seen too many young players get distracted by the money and the fame. Yamal seems immune to these temptations. Let's talk about what the future holds, because the possibilities are endless. At Barcelona, he's already established as a key player. But this is just the beginning. As he matures physically and mentally, as he gains more experience, as he develops new skills, he'll become even more dangerous. The scary thing for opponents is that he's already this good, and he's not even close to his peak yet. With Spain, he's already a European champion, but there's so much more to achieve. The World Cup in 2026, the next European Championship in 2028. These tournaments will define his legacy. And if he maintains his current trajectory, by the time he reaches his peak, he might just be considered the greatest player of the generation. The records he could break are mind-boggling. Youngest player to reach 10 international goals. Youngest player to win the Champions League as a key player. Youngest player to win the Ballon d'Or. All of these seem not just possible, but probable. His current trajectory suggests he could reach milestones that seemed impossible for someone so young. His trophy collection could become the most impressive in football history. But records are just numbers. What's more important is the impact he's having on the game itself. Yamal represents something bigger than individual success. He represents hope. For Barcelona fans who thought their golden era was over. For Spanish fans who worried their national team was in decline. For young players everywhere who dream of making it at the highest level. He's proof that talent will always find a way. That age is just a number. That with enough skill and determination, anything is possible. In an era where football has become increasingly physical and tactical, where systems often matter more than individual brilliance, Yamal reminds us why we fell in love with the game in the first place. He plays with joy, with freedom, with the kind of natural ability that can't be coached or manufactured. The pressure on him is immense. The expectations are sky high. The spotlight never dims. But here's what's remarkable about Yamal. He doesn't seem to feel it. Or if he does, he uses it as fuel rather than letting it weigh him down. Every match is an opportunity to create something magical. Every touch could be the one that lives forever on YouTube. Every game could be the one that defines his legacy, and he embraces all of it. This fearlessness, this hunger for the big moments, this refusal to be overwhelmed by the occasion. These are the qualities that separate champions from also-rans. Yamal doesn't just have them, he's mastered them. Critics will say he's too young, that the pressure will eventually get to him. That one bad season could derail everything. They said the same about Pelé, about Maradona, about Messi. Great players don't crumble under pressure. They thrive in it. They use it to reach levels that ordinary players can only dream of. Yamal isn't ordinary. He never was. From those streets in Rocafana to the biggest stadiums in Europe, from youth football to international glory, he's always been destined for something special. The only question was when the world would realize it. Euro 2024 provided the answer. The world knows now. So what's next for Lamine Yamal? What heights can he still reach? What records can he still break? The honest answer is, we don't know. We're in uncharted territory here. We're watching something that's never happened before. A teenager who plays like a veteran. A rookie who performs like a legend. A boy who carries himself like a champion. What we do know is this. Lamine Yamal was destined for glory from the moment he first touched a football. Everything that's happened since has just been confirmation of what we should have seen all along. The boy from Rocafonda isn't just changing football. He's redefining what's possible. And this is only the beginning. The future belongs to Lamine Yamal, and football will never be the same again. Welcome to the era of La Masia's newest miracle. Welcome to the age of Spanish football's brightest star. Welcome to the reign of a true footballing genius. Welcome to the legend of Lamine Yamal, destined for glory, without question. The only question now is, how much glory can one player achieve? With Yamal, it seems the sky isn't the limit. It's just the starting point.